You ready for the game? Okay, one,
I have
two.
2 for 6.
So I'm going to be the first one.
Hi, my name is Gabriele. I'm 25 years old and I'm a dancer with NDT too. This is my 3rd season in the company and right now we're getting ready to premiere our brand new program, Falling into Shadows.
Hello, I'm Yvan Dubreuil. I used to be with NDT 2 back in 1989. Now I'm back as a ballet master of a piece I've had a chance to create with Johan Inger back in 2001, I believe, and open to and interested in the discussion we're going to have together. All right, so here's the first question. Gabriele, could you introduce the work of Walking Mad from your point of view? Mm-hmm. What is it about? How would you describe the feeling to your experience while performing it?
Yeah, in my experience, this work is so many things, so it's going to be very hard to put it into one box. It feels to me that Walking Mad is about a community, a group of people that goes through many different things. It's about the relationship of the individual with the group, but also individual to individual. There's a lot of space for analyzing the concept of control. You talked about giving up control as we dance, and I think that's a very good take on the piece. My question, my turn. Yvonne, you have performed and staged Johan's work all over the world. Can you elaborate about the background and the origin of Walking Mad? How was the work developed since it was created in 2001?
So the story goes, after many years of being colleagues, then friends, then finally wanting to go into a creation together, Johan told me, hey, Yvan, would you be interested to create a piece, together? I would like to choreograph something for you. I was like, whoa, what an event. But eventually, as the day of the first working day was coming to a close, we were, as usual, we were working on the previous program, premiere, and so on my way, because I needed to sleep home just before the show, took my scooter, went across a green line for me, not for the car that burned through the red light and broke my scooter and broke my knee. Johan comes 2 days later to still visit me in the hospital, said, hey, Yvan, I cannot sleep over it, I'm so sorry for you, but I can propose you something. Since you're not going to dance it, would you make it with me? And so after much thought, I came back to Johan, I said, all right, now that it's official that we're going to work together, because we worked previously and she had many ideas about creation and works, I said, if we do that, then you have to give me the chance to say no, to have a sense of space and a sense of free expression between both of us. He said, as long as you give me the same space. And 25 years later, we're still the same.
Wow.
And I accompanied it for a very long time. Just once, in a gala somewhere, with my wife, Aurélie, we gave it a go, and it was the only time I danced the last duet, which was a very special moment for me. Question for you?
Yes.
What are your experiences with performing Johan Inger's repertoire? What draws you to his movement language? What makes Inger for you?
The very first piece I danced by Johan Inger was this beautiful piece called Out of Breath. It was one of the very first pieces I danced when I joined NDT2 a couple years ago. And ironically, it also has this wall that's kind of this presence on the piece, and the wall moves during the piece. So it's a very different piece, though, compared to Walking Mad. There's a smaller cast, and it's much more about one-on-one relationship, while I think in Walking Mad, the group also comes together more, especially at the end. I enjoy Johan Inger's work because it's so visceral. It's almost animalistic in the way the way the body moves is really natural, and it's not ever forced or not bound to reaching positions or holding positions. It's really about using the law of physics and momentum and using each other. And every movement has a specific reason also. That's it. It's never purely aesthetic. It always has a purpose in the space. There's this way of using the body that involves the whole body, all the limbs. It's a lot of inhabiting the space with your full essence. That also takes a lot of energy away. But those moments when I feel exhausted and I feel like I'm giving it all, those are the moments when you also access another plane of existence and of being artist. So I really much enjoy reaching that state. And also love using props and feeling responsible for like moving props around and making a huge wall move together with my colleagues. There's
It does
also
bring a
something
sense
very
of
fun.
necessity in the community. You know?
Because also you need to do it with someone else. You could never move that thing by yourself. And it's about coordinating your movements together to find the right timing. And that's something I found both in Out of Breath a couple years ago and in Walking Mad now. So yeah, I really enjoy that. Next question for Yvan. Yvan, you were a dancer with NDT from 1989 until 2009. And you were a dancer here when Walking Mad was created. Right now you're working with us as a stager. What is it like to revisit the work from another perspective?
The complexity of memory through time when it comes to maintaining the ephemerality of dance. Also, its erosion to both the culture of work or the technique of it, as you mentioned it earlier on. And also for me, to still refresh it every time again, to show it's not the context, which is the same, a wall, a work, movements, but the content as where can one relate to another person and still feel that there is integrity to share, humility to share, and high levels of resilience. As of older generation, back in the 80s, 90s, and 20 years I've spent here, I've realized that questions, experience of those questions, and the study of what comes out of it is always fresh and may resonate of the past, but definitely can bring time and time again new chances to have different cultural bound. Therefore, there is a continuous renewal of responsibility for every generation of dancers and creators to reflect both the resonance of the past, but the courageous stand and posture of the present. Can you tell me a little bit more about your part in Walking Mad?
Oh, yes. I'm excited to get to know my character more as we go on stages, as we perform more. But I love that the very first thing I do is a lovely duet on the wall. And in this duet, I feel like I'm the reflection of the girl I'm dancing with. I'm wearing her same dress, and we're on the wall, and she's going through something, and my role is to be her inner voices that tell her, you're strong enough, you got this, you can do it, you know? You got this. So it feels very exciting to be wearing a little dress and yet embodying strength and power and, self-esteem and all of that. And then I'm part of this darker, crazy section that we call the V section, which is a series of very daring duets, very dynamic, very risky also, which is technically quite challenging. I'm excited to dance with Rebecca because we had also a duet 2 years ago in Out of Breath, and it feels like a big throwback, full circle, beginning of NDT2 and end of NDT2. We're gonna have a blast, so I'm very excited for that. And then, of course, I love the last group section when the bolero gets like super intense and all the horns are playing, and we have these crazy wild group sections, which is yet super specific. Formations are so important, and the movements are like need to be super clear, and yet it feels like we are like letting go of everything. It's also nice to see how the music supports the dancing. I feel like when I start my first duet, the bolero is still quite soft, and the more I dance with the V section and then with the final group, the music grows, and I feel also my character grows. So I'm still very excited to try more and to run it more and to perform it and see how many new things I will discover within the character.
What's interesting in what you say, it's your character more than any other is reflecting some of the thought process that Johan and I had shared as how to meet such an iconographic music as the bolero. Ravel wanted to show off that success is an easy recipe, where a small musical theme and a gripping rhythm in a short amount of bars repeated can make success forever. For us, the idea was, okay, now that we see there's both a joke in the proposition as much as an intense quality in its composition. The idea is like, how could we challenge that by cutting the bolero, by stopping it? And therefore show that it has as much silliness and suave and fun character, but just by the sheer intensity of its repetition becomes this dark, unstoppable machinery. And your character is going through this entire development, and the break in between can only emphasize what lays down, both as a joke and as a masterpiece connected into that work. So it's very well said, because it really portrays the association that was brought as a creator, Johan, to the music of Ravel.
That's a great one. I love this question. Good job.
All right.
Yvan, would you have advice for me when performing this work? What would you advise?
Forget absolutely everything we did in the studio. Dive in the freshness of the moment. You worked in your strengths, in your vulnerability. Accept what the moment offers you and go full at it.
Wow. Thank you.